Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to the newest issue of Warhammer 40k Imperium magazine. Now, as per usual, if you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It goes an absolute massive way to help the channel too. Now, this week we're on issue 14 of Imperium magazine and we get our first bit of scenery. So we have the Munitorium, armoured containers, barrels and crates. This is the first sprue of 3. So we have 3 barrels, 4 crates and 1 container. The container requires a bit of assembly. The barrels require a little tiny bit of assembly, but not too much. And yeah, really good fun. So with the container, depending on how you're going to paint it, you may want to do it in several different ways, but we'll go through that in a bit. Into the issue itself, of course, we have information about the armoured containers. So, Munitorium armoured containers can be found across the Imperium of mankind. They are used to transport and store valuable cargo, equipment throughout the Emperor's vast realm. The containers are sometimes used as makeshift fortifications if need be. When they are used as makeshift fortifications, the ones that actually have some clear space above them sometimes will have storm bolters fixed to the top of the containers, and obviously the good old Space Marines can use the hatches on the top to kind of poke their head out and utilise them weaponry. Ammunition crates, yeah, not a lot to go through with them. They are exactly what they say they are. They are ammunition crates, so they will be filled with bullets, shells, ammo, and sometimes explosives. And then you have your barrels as well, which mostly will contain things like the liquid fuel known as Promethium that powers a lot of mankind's vehicles and weaponry as well. So this is all the Empire's, the Imperium of Man, kind of realm of good old goodies with this lot. So yeah, pretty decent. We have a battle record for them, which sounds a little bit weird, but when you kind of get to kind of grips with it, it makes a bit more sense. So as we will have 3 containers at the end of this magazine, you have 3 caps for giving them containment numbers. So you could, if you wanted to, literally paint on some numbers to these, or if you have some stencils available to you, you could also stencil them utilising the good old transfers, should I say, if you wish to. Entirely up to you, but yeah, you can do that if you want. You can also name what's going to be inside them as well, what they contain. So it could be medical supplies, it could be scanners, it could even be vehicle parts. You know, all pretty handy stuff for the Imperium. Then we get a page about the good old Eldari, which is one of the other factions from within the 41st millennium. And it's all done in an inquisitorial report style, because it's not exactly lore. They want to kind of give it through the eyes of the good old Empire of Man. So, for instance, once the Eldari ruled the stars, possessing a vast empire that spanned the galaxy. The fall shattered the Eldari Empire, leaving few survivors. Those that remain now dwell in vast world ships known as craft worlds, on the surface or of isolated planets, or within the swirling depths of the extra-dimensional realm known as the Webway. So, to many of the Imperium citizens, the Eldari seem unpredictable because they could be likely to slaughter a colony of human settlers, or they could just offer a mutual alliance to kill off a foe. But this is mainly due to the fact that their actions are being guided by their seers, who are amongst the galaxy's most powerful psychers. Who are capable of peering into the future and selecting the right course of action that they believe will increase the life expectancy and survival of their race. So the Eldari are essentially the space elves in a roundabout way. So they are kind of tall, elegant, utilise some very advanced technology, very kind of psychic based. So they are essentially a magical race in kind of a dull kind of way of kind of a very layman's term of putting it. But they have some really cool weaponry. So one of their cool minis that you can get for the Eldari if you ever fancy branching out into other races within 40k is the Wraith. Very big, massive walkers. They look super cool. They look very kind of Japanese Gundam-esque, but very kind of curved, very sleek, slender, and unique. So really, really good stuff, and it's really cool to see these guys as well. A bit more in here. Then we have a bit of a breakdown of some of the other information. So the origins of the Eldari, the webway, and the craft worlds themselves, all in the guise of an interrogation by the Space Marines of a captured good old Eldari before perishing, and the kind of the small bits of information that they were able to grab hold of from him as well during kind of interrogation and quite potentially torture. But yeah, really, really good stuff and quite fun to read as well. Then we have our how to build guide. Very straightforward. You can't go wrong. Now, before we go into everything, entirely up to you how you want to go about doing your armoured containers. If you want the doors open, you are going to want to probably paint the interior of your containers before you stick it all together. So get it all sorted, paint it up. You can make it look really, really cool, but painting it when it's all built is going to be an absolute nightmare, in all honesty. It'll be a pain in the ass. So yeah, painting it separately does come in very good use with this. Make sure you're dry fitting parts as well, because you do not want to be having issues when you're gluing it together, and for instance the top won't fit onto it properly, where the bottom won't, and stuff like that as well. It'll make life so much easier for you if you dry fit it, just so you can trim off any excess plastic that you definitely don't need. Up to you how you want to do your doors. You can have them open, you can have them closed, you can have them painted, you can have them not painted, you can have them glued, you can have them not glued. Entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it, but you can add a bit of different bits and pieces to it as well. If you wish to, you could also have it like it's a damaged container, and you could have it so like the door's being blown off, and you could use the door as some base terrain to kind of enhance the bases to one of the larger units that we might get later on, if you wish to. And don't forget the little kind of eagle heads, which are your holds for if they are going to be kind of hoisted up on cables or chains or anything like that. Barrels, very, very easy to fit together. Just literally bung them together. You can't go wrong. And the crates don't require any assembly. They are all in one piece. Just clip them off a sprue, make sure they're neat, tidy, and then paint them and have a bit of fun. Then we have a how to paint guide, which utilises a very good trick. Use your dry brush to paint up the large flat areas of the crate itself, which is very, very handy to do as well. You could do it on all the other bits and pieces if you want to just speed up the process of painting them. It is entirely up to you how you want to go about doing it. The colour scheme that it's going for, personally I don't like, but paint it how you want, in all honesty. Using a black base coat can work for a lot of colours. Mechanica Standard Grey will work far better though, as majority of base coats, and then you can kind of just use your kind of shades, Agrat Surf Shade or Norn Oil if you've got them, to just tinker with it and have a bit of fun. But really, really good stuff. Don't forget the metal work that will be on there. So for instance, the good old weaponry, the Stormbolter on top, the Aquillas, and the good old skulls that are on there, and the eagle heads themselves if you wish to. And don't forget the little vents. But very, very interesting way of kind of bulking out what you have. And as I say, we will get 2 more sprues of these at some point, so pretty handy. Moving on though into the playthrough section, we get the rules for using terrain. So with the terrain, you can move vertically, so you can climb up them. So if you are going to move vertically though, you would have to work out the start distance, your vertical distance, and then your distance across the top of the actual terrain itself to kind of help you out. So you count it as all one movement, so you need to make sure you have that movement range available to you as well. So do not worry if you don't, but If you don't have enough distance, then you can't move up or down. So have a bit of fun with that. You have moving over terrain. So if terrain is 1 inch or less in height, then vertical movement is actually free and you can ignore it. If it's over 1 inch though, you do have to worry about it as well. So things like, for instance, the good old armoured container itself, you'll definitely have to add in vertical distance to it as well. And then the coherency as well. So it gives you a lot of information about how you can utilize it and bring it into your games as well. So really good fun. Placing your scenery on the mat, it does give you some kind of key locations of where you can put things for your the actual playthrough, which is secure the supply drop. You use your 5 assault intercessors going up against Necron warriors, Ghost Flayers, and Necron warriors with Ghost Reapers, and then you have your data sheet on top for them as well if you need be. And yeah, it's all a bit of fun. It's literally a bit of a slugfest, but I'm sure you'll get through it and you'll enjoy it and you'll have a bit of fun. So make sure you stay chilled and enjoy. Moving on though, next week we have a fantastic issue. We have the issue 15. We have the flayed ones from the Necron range. Really cool stuff. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on these guys because they are a bit grotesque, they are a little bit grim, and they have a kind of cool, unique look to them as well. So I'm looking forward to picking that magazine up. I also have a second copy of it ordered because I'd like to. Lots of them, I think. If you are able to get 2 issues, get 2 issues, but imagine it is going to be scalped to all kinds of high hell. Then issue 16, we get more assault intercessors, so the other 5 to make up our kind of full team of 10. Really good stuff, pretty handy to have. Enjoy, have a good bit of fun with it. But yeah, really good stuff from the magazine. A lot of more good stuff to look forward to, and yeah, happy days. Right, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye now.